Omar had barely stepped out of his car after a 14-hour shift when he sensed something was off. The neighborhood was unusually still, the kind of stillness that does not feel peaceful, just watchful. As he walked toward his front door, he felt a pair of cold eyes locked on him from across the street, studying him as if he did not belong there. Within minutes, that silent stare turned into a dangerous lie, a fabricated 911 call claiming a break-in at his own home. What makes someone weaponize? Fear so quickly, so recklessly. Watch until the end. Wait a second. Let us know where you are watching from in the comments, and make sure to subscribe for more powerful and inspiring stories just like this one. Omar had bought his modest suburban home, with a sense of accomplishment, a place to retreat after years of witnessing chaos on duty. As a dedicated police officer, he believed real change came from working within the system, not outside it. His days were simple early morning workouts, demanding shifts and quiet evenings, sipping tea on the porch. The neighborhood seemed perfect on paper. Quiet streets, trimmed lawns, and an HOA that prided itself on order and community. But Omar could feel the subtle tension beneath the polite smiles. Some neighbors greeted him warmly, while others stared too long before shutting their doors. He ignored it, telling himself every community takes time to get used to new faces. Still, he could not shake the feeling that certain people were watching him, too closely waiting for a reason to question him. Little did he know that one neighbor's prejudice would turn his peaceful home into the center of a dangerous confrontation. The warning signs began quietly slipping into his life in ways that were easy to dismiss at first. His mailbox was left open after delivery, a trash bin was mysteriously dragged from its usual spot. Then came the HOA notices, short vague messages about property compliance and residency verification. At first Omar assumed everyone received them. But after talking to a few neighbors, he realized he was the only one. One afternoon, while returning from a workout, he noticed a woman standing across the street, arms crossed, eyes locked onto him with a scrutiny that felt colder than the evening air. She was a longtime resident, known for nitpicking every detail in the neighborhood. She volunteered for HOA committees, organized meetings, and made sure everyone knew she was the unofficial watchdog of the community. Her gaze followed Omar constantly as he parked, as he stepped onto his porch, as he carried groceries inside. He tried to dismiss it. He had seen prejudice in far harsher forms during his career, and he refused to assume the worst without reason, but things escalated. He found a notice taped to his door accusing him of suspicious occupancy. The meaning was unmistakable. Someone did not believe he belonged. Days later, returning home just past sunset, he saw the same woman pacing on her driveway, whispering into her phone while glancing repeatedly at his house. Her posture was not casual. It was agitated, expectant. Like she was preparing for something. Omar did not know it yet, but she was about to pull the trigger on a lie that could have ended everything. It happened faster than he could process. Omar stepped onto his front porch to grab a delivery when he heard sirens echoing through the neighborhood. Within seconds, police vehicles screeched to a stop in front of his home offices. Leapt out, weapons raised, moving with the tense precision he recognized too well. This was a high-risk response. Someone had reported a large black man breaking into a house. His heartbeat thundered as he raised his hands slowly, instantly, aware of how a single misunderstood movement could end his life, even though he wore the same badge as the men shouting commands at him. Across the street, the woman watched, arms folded, convinced she had saved the neighborhood from a threat she had invented. One wrong second could have made her life fatal. The truth unraveled painfully and publicly. Omar identified himself, badge number ID, proof of residence. Confusion rippled through the responding officers as they lowered their weapons, realizing the danger they had nearly contributed to. The woman defended herself with excuses about safety concerns, refusing to acknowledge the racial bias behind her actions. But the HOA could not ignore her history of targeted complaints and obsessive surveillance. After a formal investigation, she was removed from her position. Omar refused to move. This was his home, and he would not let prejudice push him out. Still, the experience changed something in him. The fear of how quickly a lie could turn lethal stayed with him. How many others have lived the same story in silence, and how many more will before the world finally listens? Where are you watching from, country and city? Take care.